Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your pal Unstoppable9426 here, and I'm finally getting a decent video off. Yay! So, I came today to say about my channel. I'm doing something different. I do want to do Dark Souls. Let me tell you what, I love the Souls series. But right now, I think I'm going to start with a Battlefront video. And this is my personal review of the Death Star DLC. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I love this DLC. So you're going to get a positive review, but I am going to be critical of a few things. One thing to note is after this video, I plan to branch off. So I plan to do a Bespin review and Outer Rim review and then this one. When Rogue One DLC is released, I'll do that too. But for right now, I'll stick to the Death Star DLC, and you guys will also get to see some of my rather crappy kills. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So, the first thing I really want to get into with the Battlefront DLC is the weapons. As you can see in the clip, I'm using the TL50 Heavy Repeater. This weapon is just insane. Way better than the heavy blasters that I used prior to, like the DLT-19, RT-97C. This far surpasses them. And for those of you that haven't played Battlefront, this weapon has a cool feature to where you can charge up all the power in the weapon and then launch it all in one blast. The weapon's ability is called Secondary Fire, and it is amazing. Like a little grenade kind of sorta that comes out of the front of the weapon. The other new weapon that was introduced with the DLC was the K16 Briar pistol. At least that's what I believe it's called. Let me know in the comments if I got that wrong. But it's in the same vein as the TL50, where you can fire it normally, or you can just release all the power of that weapon into one blast. That was a demonstration right there of the secondary fire. I haven't noticed really a damage difference, but I do know that if you smack someone dead on with the secondary fire, and they're at kind of mid-health, they'll die. If they're at high health, they'll run for cover to try to heal. That brings me to the new star cards that were introduced in this DLC. You have the medical droid, which I'm not using here. But what it does is you set it down and it will heal your teammates and provide a boost to star card regeneration. That's really cool, and the look of it is amazing because it reminds you, if you played the first Battlefronts that came out a long time ago, it's the same exact droid. So I think it's rather cool that they decided to bring that back, kind of give the old Battlefront fans a little bit of nostalgia. The other new star card released was the laser trip mine. And yes, in this gameplay footage, I am using it. Of course, I suck with it. I much prefer to use, if I had to pick between the two, the medical droid, because no one in this game is dumb enough, really, that I've seen to fall for that trip mine. I mean, I've had people run by me, and for some reason, it just doesn't work. I had one hilarious suicide off of a trip mine. You guys sadly don't get to see it here because I lost that piece of footage. But long story short, a guy fired a secondary fire. It smacked my trip mine instead of me, but the trip mine blew up and killed me and the group of guys that were next to me. Sad times. Now the other thing I would like to say is comparing the two weapons. What kind of effect do they have on the gameplay? A lot of people now are starting to use the TL50, which is completely understandable. In terms of Battlefront weapons, it's the best heavy blaster that I've seen that can be used at range. It has decent damage all the way through, unlike, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the DLT-19, RT-97C, they don't really hit hard at range. The T-21 sort of did, but in the end, it just didn't work because the T-21 fired so slow that people would be able to understand what was going on and get out of the way. This, if you really can catch people off guard with the T. Almost said T21 there, my bad. The TL50. Now, the K16, I haven't really seen people use it. I don't know why. In my opinion, I think it's a good weapon. Of course, it's not as good as my favorite pistols in the game, like the DH-17, DT-12. Those are some good weapons. But the K16, in my opinion, is a good weapon. Now, moving on to another subject, and that's the game modes. One thing that I really gotta critique about the Death Star DLC is they put in too many flying modes. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the people that loves to fly in this game. And a lot of it is because I am a huge Star Wars fan. I have been for a very long time. It's one reason I bought this game. But I love to fly in the X-Wings, the Interceptors, etc. But there comes a time when flying can just get too common. Like, it's annoying how in Battle Station, the new game mode that was released with the Death Star DLC, how you can lose Phase 1, and if it throws you in another game of Battle Station, you're in the air flying again. And the other big gripe is the star cards, the medical droid and the laser trip mine, they require more boots on the ground gameplay. And Battle Station, if you face a really bad rebel team, you're not going to make it on board the Death Star. And they only added Blast, which I don't think makes any logical sense at all. I love Blast because I love solid team deathmatch, but I love the ability of, going after objectives, like in Cargo, Droid Run, etc. I wish they'd add some more ground modes, because then I feel like a lot more people would come here, because a lot of people don't like to fly in this game. So, that's my opinion on that. And then you have the heroes. Unfortunately, right here for this clip, I had to play as Dengar, because unfortunately I couldn't get the beginning half of this when I went on a huge kill streak with Bosk. But I do gotta say, I love Bosk. He is easily my favorite villain out of the villains to choose from. I like his abilities. For those of you that haven't played Battlefront, he has the... he can turn his Romy V10 into a micro grenade launcher. That micro grenade launcher, my god, it's like a little mini barrage. It obliterates the enemy team. It's just so ridiculous. And then if it hits them, the enemy, they die instantly pretty much. Unless they have the health boost of the backup bomb, they really don't stand a chance. His other ability, his main one, is I believe it's called Predatory Instincts. Yeah, that's it. To where Boss gains heat vision, can his weapon, not his weapon, his star cards cool down quicker, and he will move faster on the battlefield. That's really useful, and that's one thing I absolutely love to death about Boss, is the ability to perform this at will. There is no cooldown. You can do this whenever you want, so if you have that split second when you see the enemy, you need to cool down your micro grenade ability, or his third ability, Toxic Escape. When you use this, Boss will throw a Dioxis grenade on the ground and jump away in the direction he's facing. This Dioxis grenade packs a very, very powerful punch, and can virtually annihilate anyone standing in it for a good couple of seconds. Unlike the normal Dioxis grenade that Greedo has, in which it's no different from the regular one. Boss is, and it's just so clutch. When you run in on the enemy, you know you can't take him, so you just throw a dot, use Toxic Escape, jump out, and all of a sudden you realize you just racked up a 6 to 7 person kill streak because they all died because they couldn't move. It's glorious. Then you have Chewbacca for the Rebels. Unfortunately, I don't have any clips of Chewbacca in this set of gameplay, but I have played as him, and I really I know this is going to be a bit of unpopular opinion. I don't like him that much, really. I feel like I prefer heroes like Han and Luke that can move quickly. Chewbacca, I know, is meant to be a tank, but I don't like it, because if you get in a hairy situation, you could very well find yourself dead if a lot of people just corner you. But that brings me to the first of Chewbacca's awesome abilities. He has this ability called Ground Slam, in which he just annihilates anyone standing next to him in basically a ground slam. Very specific. And it works. Let me just say, you can get jumping off one of the platforms in the Death Star right onto the lower one. You can rack up an absurd kill streak by doing that. His other ability, main ability, is called, I think it's Inspiring Roar or something like that. Mighty Roar, yeah, that's it. If there's any rebel soldiers around him, or heroes as a matter of fact, they gain, well, not the heroes. The rebel soldiers gain a damage boost, health buff, and the benefit of the level 3 Berserker trait for a short amount of time. And for those of you that haven't played Battlefront and don't know what the heck I'm talking about, the Berserker trait, I believe, gives you more of a damage boost when you fire your weapon from the hip. And the level 3 trait, and the level 3 part of this trait, gives you a super damage buff. So you basically turn into an unstoppable force. Now the heroes, if they get hit by this, they do not gain the damage boost. Can you imagine if like Han Solo or Luke Skywalker gained that? That'd be ridiculous. Heroes do gain better armor though, and that is really good. If Chewbacca uses his Mighty Roar ability on you and you're like Han or somebody, you can just run in there, do a shoulder charge, rapid fire, whatever you want. And it really helps. Now Chewbacca's last ability is multi-bolt, I believe it's called, to where you double the amount of bolts you shoot. And that gets me to the traits of both our hero and villain. Chewbacca's trait is tied in directly with his bowcaster. You get more shots for every rank in the trait you advance. Combine that with multi-bolt and you can fire up to 8 shots at once. It's devastating to get a group in a choke point and then just absolutely massacre them with multi-bolt. But like I said, I don't know if it's just bad luck for me, but I never got that to happen when I was Chewbacca. So, I don't know. I just don't really like Chewbacca much. I love Bosk though, and that brings me to Bosk's trait. It's called Trandoshan Healing. Of course, he is a Trandoshan, and in the Star Wars lore, Trandoshans are reptiles. And reptiles in the world generally have an ability to regenerate. Like a lizard, if you cut off its tail, it regrows. So they tied that in for Bosk really, really well. What it does is, the more kills you get or damage you do to a hero, Bosk will actually heal himself. That's another thing I love about him. You can run into a group of enemies or a hero, just start wildly killing or damaging the hero, and your health bar will just increase. It's glorious. I exploit that really well. I exploited that really well in the clip before this one. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that footage. RIP. But it was awesome. And then, I really gotta say this. I didn't play much of the Bespin DLC because I was so tied up in Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, Dark Souls. But I do gotta say, I love the new customization options that the Rebels and the Imperials get. This video was before I hit rank 70 for the first time. In my future Battlefront videos, you'll see that I do wear the Shop Trooper set. I love that from Bespin, but I really love the Death Star Trooper and the Imperial Officer skins for your Imperial troops. That just looks so freaking cool. And then the Rebels, you know, they get the Officer and the X-Wing pilot, which that's also really awesome. I love the new customization options. They're really cool, but like I said, I haven't ranked up enough to even get one of them. I'm only ranked 70 right now, on the cusp of 71. So yeah, later on in future videos, you'll see that I do have the Shock Trooper set, because I just love it. You look like a badass. And then that brings me to the updated fighters that they did for Battle Station. The A-Wing used to be my favorite thing in Fighter Squadron back in the day. You just shielded up and you basically went ham with the A-Wing, because it was very, very fast. I mean, it still is. It's actually gotten faster because it has a new speed boost ability now. But I'd argue that the speed boost makes it more vulnerable than it used to be in the past. Like right there, you see I engaged my speed boost just to avoid that missile, and it still didn't work. I still got smacked. But I also think that there was a bit of a problem with the A-Wing hitbox. That was just some bad piloting. I misjudged that completely. But that really bugged me when they said the A-Wing got a speed boost instead of the shield initially. Now, after playing Battle Station for a while, I really love this speed boost, because the X-Wing still has its shield, but it feels like a forever wait just to get to the Star Destroyer. But that's another thing that I really love about Battle Station. I love the fact that it's like a space variant of Walker Assault. For those of you who haven't played Battlefront, Walker Assault is the rebels have to take down an AT-AT. In Battle Station, you're taking down a frickin' Star Destroyer. That is so cool. And there's only one gripe with it. Like I said earlier in the video, you can end up flying too much. And I know that's crazy coming from me. I'm a huge Fighter Squadron fan. I love the first phase and third phase of Battle Station. But sometimes the flying just gets repetitive. And it's really, really annoying. But on to more about Battle Station. Sadly, I don't have any footage from the third phase, because honestly, I never got lucky enough to get on a really good team that focused on the objective in the second phase. All they wanted to do was just kill the other Imperials. And the other Imperials also really guarded R2 well. I give props to that enemy team, but the third phase is if you're the rebels, you get to partake in the all-famous trench run, where you have to hit the checkpoints, and once you get to the last one, you destroy the Death Star. That is so cool. And if you're the Imperials, you gotta defend. With that, they added 2 new hero vehicles just for Battle Station, even though now they're in Fighter Squadron as well. Luke Skywalker's Red 5 X-Wing and Darth Vader's TIE Advanced. Now let me give you my problem with both of them and the hero vehicles as a whole. For those of you that haven't played Battlefront, in the beginning of this game when it first came out, the Millennium Falcon and Slave One were the 2 hero ships. Han Solo's ship and Boba Fett. But the problem in the beginning of the game was they were too overpowered. One person could carry his entire enemy team in the beginning of when this game first came out with just the Millennium Falcon or Slave One. Nowadays, with the release of the Death Star DLC, you can't do that. People have gotten good, and they will target you immensely. It's kind of annoying, actually, because you can just be running for the objective, trying to shoot down people, and all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 people are just right behind you, and they're just ganking you. It's so bad. And they can't defend themselves really as well as they used to. That brings me to the clip you're about to see, which is my Fighter Squadron gameplay. And the problem I have with Luke Skywalker's Red 5 X-Wing. It's overpowered now like the Millennium Falcon was in the good old days of when this game first came out. What it does is, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing has a shield and a missile section, just like any regular X-Wing. But the thing about this being Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, Luke Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, obviously had R2-D2 with him. In the movie, R2 actually performs maintenance, to a degree, to Luke's X-Wing. DICE was like, alright, let's put that on Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, so that way, no matter how much damage he takes, he can basically get a vehicle repair type thing. You'll see in a minute here where I actually do use it. Because, watch. I think I'm going to fly around here, try to shoot that guy down, it didn't work, shield up, and use it. And look at that. I went from 64 back to full health. This guy is so hard to shoot down. It's ridiculous. You have to time your shots carefully, especially now with the lock system being able to overheat. Back in the good old days of Battlefront, that never happened. You could stay locked onto a guy for as long as you want. And I applaud the overheating mechanic. The overheating mechanic really makes you time your shots well. And that really works well with the X-Wing's ability to have a shield. Because now, you have to time it when the shield is down. Because when the shield's up, forget it. Unless you can shoot a missile to take down their shield, you're never going to get any meaningful damage on them. Now let me bring up Darth Vader's TIE Advanced. It, in its own way, is also very, very broken. It has a shield, just like the X-Wing. It has this thing called laser barrage. The laser barrage allows it to fire as many shots as it wants to fire without overheating. And that's just freaking crazy. The TIE Interceptor can do that now too, which is, in my opinion, awesome. In Darth Vader's case, not so much. It does a lot more damage, and it kind of gets overbearing at times. I really don't know much about his top ability, but that's because I haven't really played in Darth Vader's TIE Advance that much. Whenever I get the hero pickup on Fighter Squadron, I still like to play as Slave 1. Because, let me tell you, Boba Fett is my favorite Star Wars character. And it's so cool. In sum, what I can say about Battlefront's Death Star DLC is I absolutely adore it. I love it because I'm a huge fan of flying. But like I said, the only critique is that there's not enough ground modes for when people want to play ground modes. Like, I think they should add cargo, droid run, heroes versus villains. What would be really cool would be to see like a Walker Assault type deal or Supremacy. Can you imagine a 40-player map? A huge one on the Death Star. That is just awesome. Or it would be awesome. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends. And yeah, stay tuned to my channel for the next release that I'll be doing. Will be my review on the Bespin DLC, which I'm going to go and tell you right now. I didn't love the Bespin DLC as much as I loved this. And there are reasons for that, which I will be sure to entail in my next video. Alright, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.